In the frigid depths of Siberia's Lake Baikal, something lurks beneath the ice, something that shouldn't exist. In 1982, Soviet military divers encountered strange humanoid beings in the lake's icy water, and the mission to capture them ended in disaster. Were they aliens, mermaids, or something even stranger? Welcome back to Legends May Live, where we explore the strange, the mysterious, and the eerie. I'm Drew, and today we're going back to 1982, when divers saw something that would change their lives forever. Located in Siberia, a remote and largely untouched area, Lake Baikal is the deepest and oldest freshwater lake in the world, and it's notorious for its mystical energy with countless UFO sightings and strange disappearances. At over 5,000 feet deep, with legends of hidden caves and tunnels beneath, many locals believe that the lake is alive. Its history is filled with reports of boats disappearing, divers going missing, lights hovering over the water, and mysterious sounds emanating from below. Indigenous Buryat people have stories of water spirits called the Lusug Khan, the water dragon. But in the summer of 1982, things got really strange. Russia had decided to utilize the lake for military exercises. They thought that the year-round icy cold water and crushing pressure at the greatest depths made a perfect opportunity for seeing what their equipment was capable of. And the crystal clear water made it perfect for training divers. So at the beginning of June, in the early morning hours, 7 divers put on their gear and made their way out to the diving point. Once they arrived, one by one the divers sat with their backs to the edge of the boat and rolled back into the water. The group began swimming to depth, and as they reached around 50 meters, or 160 feet, they began their work, which is still classified to this day. But after some time had passed, one of them looks up and notices something very strange. He reaches over and gestures to the others. Finally, he gets their attention, and as everyone looks over, they stop. They're dumbstruck by what they're seeing. Not far off were 3 humanoid figures watching them, and they were huge. Each one was about 10 foot in height, with either skin or bodysuits that shimmered. It looked metallic, like liquid chrome, and they had no visible breathing gear like the hoses or tanks that the Russian divers had. Instead, they wore large rounded helmets. The divers could see their faces, which looked human, or at least mostly so. And the divers examined the creatures. They noticed that the creatures gestured to one another. It was obvious they were communicating. And after a few seconds, the divers came to themselves, and they radioed up to their commander what they were seeing. Then, in true Cold War fashion, the commander, not willing to miss an opportunity, ordered the team to capture one. So the divers quickly but cautiously moved to surround the creatures. As they got into position, they identified their target and launched their attack. But that was a mistake many of them would not live to regret. The humanoids reached out their hands, and whether through technology or some sort of bioenergy, they let out this powerful burst, similar to a sonic wave. The team was launched back, rocketing backward through the water at first, but then they quickly turned and started rising, fast, far too fast. They were at the surface in a matter of seconds. Now this was dangerous for 2 reasons. The first being the sheer force their bodies had just been subjected to. The second is that being that far under the water makes even casually swimming straight to the surface dangerous. And that's because of decompression sickness, which, though it's called sickness, can actually be deadly, because compressed nitrogen in the bloodstream and body tissue expands at a rate much faster than it can be dissipated. As the divers hit the surface and explode out of the water, the crew on deck sees them, and immediately they know that something is terribly wrong. So they rush over to pull them out of the water, and one by one they load the divers back onto the boat, to get them medical treatment. But for 3 of them, it's already too late. They had died from the trauma. The remaining 4 were alive, but in bad shape, barely conscious, bruised and broken. They were rushed to a decompression center in the city of Irkutsk, where they later recovered, but some accounts say that they sustained lasting physical and neurological damage. And one diver is rumored to have suffered partial paralysis, while another allegedly never fully recovered mentally. The full details of the event were reportedly classified under Soviet military files. Some believe that the government may have continued secret operations in the lake. The official story was suppressed. Still, whispers of the event leaked through former military personnel years later. So what were these beings? Some ufologists believe that these creatures were extraterrestrial entities living beneath the lake, as Lake Baikal has long been a hotspot for UFO activity, with sightings of orbs and strange lights above the water. Or could these be ancient undiscovered species that lived separately from humans? Some scientists speculate that the extreme depth could allow a secret ecosystem hidden from human discovery. Or maybe this was itself a classified military experiment, involving advanced diving suits and enhanced human capabilities. Though strange as it may seem, this isn't an isolated encounter. There have been other reports of humanoid beings in lakes and oceans worldwide. The Kayaman in South Africa, the Kwalapalik in Inuit mythology, and of course there's ancient mermaid legends across multiple cultures. That's it for today's episode of Legends May Live. Thanks for listening. So what do you think these creatures were? Something supernatural, an unknown species, or just an urban legend? If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss a story. Until next time, keep your eyes open and keep a lookout, because legends may live.